Hello Cancer and welcome to your January 2022 video. Happy New Year to you. Now, Venus isn't retrograde until the 29th of January in your 7th house. Venus retrograde, it rules over love and it can create conflict and drama within relationships, be it personally, professionally, friendships, family. It creates all this drama, all this conflict and all this inattention. And especially for you because it is in your 7th house of relationships and relating to others. So there's certain things you need to release about yourself when connecting to others. You might even have to hear others out. Hear out how they feel because it's in your relationship house. What's important to them? What changes do you need to make to yourself? What changes do you need to make to yourself in order to hear them and what they're actually looking for within a relationship? Also, it's about healing for you, being gentle with yourself, understanding that you also have needs. It's about finding the balance, because it is the 7th house, between your needs and their needs, and finding a place of meeting in the middle. Watch for spending during this time, especially during that energy, because Venus rules over love, luxury, beauty, money, finance. It's where you might see that beautiful, luxurious item and want to spend during a Venus retrograde, and later come to regret it. And especially if you're buying anything electronic, make sure you have the receipt. It is a Venus retrograde. Okay, on the 2nd, we have a new moon in the 7th house. This allows for new beginnings. Also, you might meet someone new in the 7th house because it is relationships. When it comes to work, you might have a new understanding, you might have a new connection, but the 7th house rules over all your relationships, how you relate to others, but especially those personal relationships. So someone new might come into your life, or you might find a new way of being within an existing relationship. That's fine if it's an existing relationship. Let's talk about those new relationships. Or say, for instance, during the Venus retrograde, a relationship came to an end, right? And then you decide with the new moon, let's bring it back again, together again. You might find come February or March, you might not be so happy with it, right? So give yourself some space, give yourself some time during the Venus retrograde. Be gentle with yourself. A lot of times we're afraid. We are afraid, and especially Cancer, when it comes to, giving space and time and allowing to see what happens, and growing in a sense of what you emotionally need within your life, what the other person emotionally needs in your life, giving each other that space and time to get to that place, because you can come together at a better place instead of trying to do it where we don't allow for the growth to happen. Then it just keeps us both stagnant. So it's so important during this time. Don't start no new relationship. If relationships come to an end, they come with conflict. Give healing a chance and give it time. Simple. Time, healing, give it space. Right? Doesn't mean it's over or whatever the thing may be, but don't rush it. Venus retrograde is not where we rush healing. It's not where we rush anything. We give it the space and time it needs to deal with the emotions, the other person that is, and yourself too. Because when we rush for healing, when we just are quick to, I think maybe what this person did was wrong, but I'm just gonna apologize. And we are now not letting the work of Venus come through. And Venus is all about self-worth. So give it time, you will find yourself in a much better space, instead of rushing anything during a Venus retrograde when it comes to relationships, relationship conflicts, relationship dramas, right? If it's small, okay. But if it's quite big and intense, space and time. Space and time. There's no one that gets over anything quickly. So space and time is needed. And with that new moon, it offers new beginnings. If you meet anyone new after the Venus retrograde, think about whether if you really have this connection. On the 3rd, Mercury joins Saturn in your 8th house, about money. It's time to get serious about your finances, your partner's money, or either loans, debt, anything like that, or partnering up to earn money. Saturn wants you to be more organized, to create some structure to your life. Mercury has you thinking about your money. You need to make sure that you do it. Anything financial that you need to sign it before the 15th when Mercury goes retrograde in that 8th house, because then you might sign something and might not be too happy with what you sign once Mercury retrograde is over. Important to note, we have a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde during the month of January. And that is very intense. because a Venus retrograde is us emotionally feeling a bit offline and a bit more sensitive. Like our hearts just feel offline and we feel a bit more sensitive, and people around us are more sensitive. People want to talk about the past and reel us into things. And the Mercury retrograde has us mentally offline. So we're confused, we're a bit foggy, we misunderstand people, we miss the texts, we miss the appointments. Give yourself time during this time. And especially because it's in your 8th house. The 8th house is about intimacy and connecting to people, but it's about releasing fears, doubts. Exes can come up during the Mercury retrograde. On the 17th, the full moon happening in your 1st house. This is healing for you. The 1st house is the house of self, and it's a full moon. So what do you need to release, to let go, in order to be your authentic self and be who you truly meant to be? What is holding you back from all you can accomplish in your life? The full moon wants you to take a look at, like, what's holding me back? What's keeping me stagnant? What's not allowing me to grow? How can I prosper? How can I mature? How can I, maybe mature is the wrong kind of word, but be more responsible and feel responsible for my life and the direction that I'm taking within my life. The 1st house is all about self-care. What do you need to release? What relationships you need to release? This is about you, remember. What relationships are holding you back? What people are holding you back? What friendships? It's all about you and you letting go, cutting ties, cutting cords with what is actually keeping you stuck. On the 20th, there's the sun on the 8th house of intimacy, money. You might feel the need to partner up with someone else. You might feel that you need to apply for a loan, something like that when it comes to money, partnering up. And like the 8th house rules over financial institutions. So anything where you get money out of that. This will also want you to connect deeper to other people, be more vulnerable, intimate and personal relationships. Share deeply what's going on within your heart for others to understand. On the 25th, Mars is in your 7th house, and you want to take action when it comes to your relationships. You want to take action. You want to move forward. You're feeling passionate. There's even with Mars is passion. In the 7th house is like you really want to go after, take action, move forward with the 7th house of relationships. But be careful, because it is in that relationship house. And Mars is the god of war. So sometimes you might notice that the people around you might be a bit more angrier than usual, because you need to work your way with balancing yourself and others and your relationships, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. My website's linked down below if you'd like a reading, as well as a link for appreciation of these videos.